I looked out the window watching cars go by and wished that I had the life of the person in the other car. I didn't want to keep doing what I was doing. I'm here to show you the ups and downs, the ins and outs of what it takes to actually build $1 million a year company, what it takes for a long-term success. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Waters. I actually run a company called the 7-Figure Dojo program, where we help martial arts school owners scale their schools to profitable 6 and 7 figures. And it's based all off of my own personal experience running $1 million martial arts school. Now the school has been doing over $1 million for 13 plus years, and there was a lot of ups and downs to get to this point. You wouldn't believe the amount of drama that it took initially and what I did to eliminate that drama from occurring in my life ever again. So I want to just pull back the curtains a little bit for you guys and would invite you to come in and take a peek at what the life of an entrepreneur, especially one that's doing martial arts business, and all the things that I was able to experience so that you don't have to go through those same things. The most important thing that I'm going to talk to you about at the end of this video is if you do this one hack, it will get you to your goals exponentially faster. So whether you want to make $500,000 a year, you want to make $1 million a year, you want to make $1 million plus a year through your martial arts school, this hack is going to take the time that you would normally think that it would take to build a martial arts school like that and literally cut it in half. So make sure you hang around. So what I first did in this journey is going from basically nothing. Like our martial arts school was a part-time school. I graduated high school after, growing up in the martial arts. My dad started the school in 1982. I came along years after that, and then I grew up in the school. It was a part-time operation, and because it was a part-time school, it was never something where we were just able to thrive and we were able to grow exponentially. Even though we really wanted to, I knew it was possible. So by the time I graduated high school at 18, at that point, I had a free ride to college if I wanted it, or I could just dive straight into the martial arts business. And for me, I chose to dive straight into the martial arts business. I went, and my family, we decided, okay, we're gonna go in and we're gonna get mentorship. I was very fortunate to have an amazing business mentor that literally everything that he said to do, we did. I had full trust in the processes, everything that he took me through. I went and I traveled the country. I went to business seminars. Everything that I learned, I brought back and I started implementing like crazy with my family. Meanwhile, my dad was still working his full-time job. My mom was still running the back-end office administration side of things. And I'm out there as an 18-year-old trying to operate a business and trying to figure it all out. I had no clue what it took, except I had a desire and a passion. That's what I would say. Number one, if you're trying to get out there and you're really trying to grow your martial arts school, maybe you're just starting out, passion is going to push you and it's going to push you so far, but deep down inside, there's got to be something else that's driving you forward. For me, it was that I had watched my dad for years, my whole entire life. He was getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning, going to his superintendent construction job, doing different construction jobs. Then he would come in and he would teach classes from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until about 9 o'clock at night. We would drive home, we would eat dinner, and now it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And that was my whole entire life. I just remember how hard he pushed himself, and I remember seeing all that and just going, I really, really want something different for my dad, for my mom, and for myself. And so family for me was everything, and it still is. And it pushed me so far that we took the school from $5,000 a month all the way up to $1 million a year in 4 years. So if you really want to be able to eliminate all of the drama of, am I gonna make it? Am I not gonna make it? Am I gonna do that? You have to have something that is going to drive you and push you to go get that thing. Whatever it is for you, you need to have a very clear goal in mind. Our first goal wasn't $1 million. It wasn't. We actually got to our first goal within 2 years. The first goal was that my dad no longer needed to work a full-time job. And within 2 years, that happened. After that, the next thing that needed to happen is my mom was taking on a salary, and then I was also getting paid a very decent wage as well. And so that was our next goal. And then I also got married to my wonderful husband, Titus, all in that same time frame. So then it became, how can we have Titus transition from being a massage therapist, he was a certified massage therapist, to then transition over into a full-time martial arts instructor, and the family runs the business. All that happened within a 4-year window, as we also drove revenue up and generated over $1 million a year in revenue, at the same time teaching high quality martial arts. Now you can imagine there's a lot going on in that time frame. We've got the family dynamics that are going on, we've got the business pressure, we've got all of those things. But then on top of that, when we reached that next level, we had to have something beyond just us as a core. We had to have team members. And that, my friends, is where it gets really sticky. You see, when you bring in team members, now you have to go from having a system that's not really a system, where you're communicating with family and where you're talking about things at dinner, or you're explaining things at lunch, or you're just talking all the time together, to actually going, wow, I don't have a system to explain this to somebody else. And oh my gosh, I have hired some of the worst people in the world to bring inside of the business. People that had no work ethic, people that just really weren't going to do the work necessary. I've also hired some amazing people that go so far above and beyond what I ever thought that I would be able to have as a team. Matter of fact, those people that work with me right now inside of both companies, inside of the martial arts school, and also inside of our 7-figure dojo program, those are the people that are absolutely amazing team members. And here's what I learned. Number one, when it comes to figuring out who do I hire and who do I bring on board, you have to understand that you need to do your due diligence, and you can't just take somebody at their word that they're gonna be a great employee. And the other thing I also learned is, just because someone's in martial arts, or just because someone has had a background in your school, doesn't mean that they're gonna be a great employee. Some of my best team members were actually people that had nothing to do with martial arts. They came in, they loved what we did. Maybe they were a parent and they loved what we did for their kid, or just somebody that applied for an entry-level position who then grew within the company. And that actually happened for both of my chief of operations in each of the companies. One was a parent who had watched her son do martial arts for years, and then she eventually started taking martial arts. And the other came in as an entry-level appointment setter, and then eventually transitioned into sales. And each of those became chief of operations in my two companies, and they're absolutely amazing at what they do. But here's the thing, it took so much heartache and so much trial and error to actually find them. The other thing that I learned along that journey is that as you continue to grow, your circle of influence grows bigger, but your circle of decisions, really the circle of decision makers, should grow smaller. The problem is that as your circle of influence expands, you kind of feel like, at least I did, that maybe your circle of decision making should also expand. And I actually learned that the opposite is true. You're gonna have a handful of people that you are gonna trust with all the ins and outs of what's going on in the business. And those people should be the type of people that you know that you could literally leave a stack of cash, you could leave your most precious belongings, you could do all that, you could leave it in their hands, and they wouldn't touch it, because they have integrity. If that's the type of people that you know I can trust them beyond anything else, now you have a great circle of decision makers. Because literally, instead of you having to make all the decisions about your business, you can leave the decisions of the business in their hands within parameters. I don't have to think about scheduling team members anymore. I have 2 people, my chief of operations, they do that. I don't really have to worry about appointments being set for martial arts introductory lessons, or for our clients that come in for our 7-figure dojo program, because I have team members that do that then report to team leads. And I also don't have to worry about the quality of curriculum being taught on the mat for my martial arts students, and also the quality of the concepts of which we're teaching our clients. And the number one reason why is because I don't have to make every single decision in my business. If you're still doing that, then that's gonna be one of the things that will hold you back on your journey to have $1 million plus organization. Whether that's just inside one business or it's across multiple businesses, you're gonna want to make sure that you decentralize your command, because if it all blows back to you, you're really gonna pull your hair out. Now, for the last thing that I think is crucial and that will literally cut down the time to reach your goals, is having systems in place. So initially when we were building the martial arts school from $5,000 a month to $1 million plus a year, we were working off of systems that my business mentor had said, hey, these are the systems, they worked really well in the past, go ahead and utilize these systems. And that helped us jumpstart and get going in the right direction. Once we started crossing that $1 million threshold and we started going, okay, how do we expand? That's when we had to think about creating internal systems, and we had to think about taking things not just from the martial arts industry, but things that we were learning in business and applying it to our business so that we could increase profitability, not just revenue. And so systems, and having systems that you can install into your business that someone else has already figured out and spent hours and hours perfecting, is a huge game changer and helps you get to your goal faster. When you're having to create the systems, when you're having to think about all the ins and outs of how you want something to work and how you want it to be repeatable, and that's really what a system is. It's a repeatable process. When you're thinking about those things, it can be extremely hard to figure that out while still running a business. You want to take systems that already exist, plug them in, and then when you can get higher and you can get removed a little bit, and I don't mean like you're no longer teaching classes or you're no longer following your passion, whatever your passion is, you could totally be doing that. But when you can get removed a little bit to give you some time to actually sit down and think through a process, or to bring in team members so that you guys can think through a process, that's when you can cut your time down in half to actually reaching your goals. Guys, if you got a ton of value out of this video, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Make sure you check us out. We have tons of different videos on this channel. We provide this channel here because I want to make sure that martial arts school owners, business owners, they're not stuck. There are so many ways for you to be able to live the life of your dreams, and I want to be able to provide a way to be able to do that. So make sure you hit subscribe, and until next time, guys, keep being awesome.